Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to be repairing some LEDs. These are from a hot tub, brand spanking new, used for maybe 1 or 2 hours and have failed. So let's try and get these repaired. So these belong to a friend. Basically they picked up a brand new hot tub, plugged these in, used the hot tub for one night, unplugged them, plugged them back in and they wouldn't work. Now this part here is the receiver for the remote control. This is what controls what colours come out of the lights. And basically water has got in and has fried the board. This here is the transformer. So this takes your basically your main supply and converts it down to a much lower output because these only need so many watts of electricity. And this knocks this down to 15 watts of power. This is working fine. I have tested this and this is giving out the correct reading. I have also directly connected power to the lights and they're working fine also. To quite simply power a colour, all you need to do is supply a positive feed to the red and then a negative feed to one of the 3 wires. Depending on which wire you use will depend on the colour. And one of these will be green, one of these will be red, one of them will be blue. And if you connect the positive to the red and then the negative to one of these, that will give you the colour. If you connect it to all of them, it will give you all the colours and so on. And that's basically how you get your different colours. The part that controls all this is this bit here. Now this is a receiver, but it's also the controller. So considering these are hot tub lights and this needs to be waterproof, this is what they put around it. Now the center part is definitely waterproof. The end they've put some silicone. This bit went like that, so this I guess would have been waterproof. However, these wires here came out of this hole. And if you can see there, the red wire is actually crossed over. Because this red wire was actually crossed over like that, you can see that, it wasn't creating a perfect seal. So water has managed to get past this and just basically cover the board and fried it. So we need a new board. Now I've not actually replaced one of these before. I imagine it's pretty straightforward, it's just like for like. I don't even know if this is going to fix it, but I thought I will give it a go. They're really cheap and it's worth a shot, and if it works it may help you guys out. I've connected this and I've connected this part, so this is one complete circuit in theory. A remote control should turn this on and off, but it does not. So what I was saying before about jumping the wires, I'll show you using this piece of wire here. All I meant is that you can basically jump the neutral, the negative, over to complete the circuit to the blue channel, the red and the green. That proves that the circuit, the lights, the transformer, all this is working perfectly fine. The issue is the board. So I have tried a few controllers. I didn't know which ones worked, so I've just brought a few down because I do have a lot of LED lights around the house. Yeah, none of these worked. Try to reprogram them, nothing. So the board is fried. So this is what I picked up. It was only £5–6, wasn't much. I made sure that it has the same remote control because I wasn't quite sure if other models did different stuff. And basically it is a LED controller and it comes with a remote control and it supports 5 to 24 volts. So that's perfect what we need. It comes with this wire attached, so you can just plug in like a DC jack type connection. Don't need that. Also, as you can see, the waterproof of this is pretty terrible. That is definitely not for outdoor use, so that'll be coming off also. In theory, as you can see, the chipping stuff here is a bit different, but I'm hoping it's just a case of removing the sleeve and desoldering the connections here and desoldering the connections at the end and then soldering these back on in its place. So let's start, I guess, by taking this cover off and see what we have to work with. Yeah, so these are brand new, these lights. They were used for one night. Now my friend has actually complained and they've not got back to her. So she's sick of waiting. So I said I'll try and give it a go myself, repairing them and see how we get on. She was pretty much just going to go out and buy a replacement anyway. So got nothing really to lose. A couple of £2. See if we can get this working again. Be something new for me to do. I'm always up for a challenge. Okay, so I got the cover off. So it looks to be the same inside, which is good. Basically all I want to do is this is the live coming in and this is the live on this side. The live should go to this pin and the neutral should go to these 3 pins. If they match up, then the circuit board should work. So top pin to the live is fine. Top pin to the live is fine. Now the neutral, we're getting 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and the neutral on this one, 0.5, 0.49, that's good enough, and 0.5. So the circuitry is identical, so that's great. So the next step is to remove these and put these in its place. Okay, so let's see if there's enough solder on this board to just reuse what's already there. That's one. And that is two. So that is done. That part is fixed on there. That's not going to come off. So the next step is to attach the lights. Now on this one, I need to remember which way these go. Obviously the live goes on the brown side, and then basically it's, let's call this 1, 2 and 3 and the live. So 1, 2, 3 live. So we can cut these off. They're all melted anyway. Let's get some new wire shown. That should be okay. So let's get some solder on the end of these. Makes life a bit easier. Put a tiny bit of flux on. Shouldn't need much. Shouldn't really need it really, to be fair, for this small wire. But basically, should be plenty. Probably best off getting rid of that. Don't need that really. Now in fairness, I probably could just desolder them and solder these in place, but I quite like, on the other board these snapped off, but they're quite solid, so I actually like the idea of soldering the two together. So I think for the time being we'll just keep them on there. Suppose we'll do the live first. So how do we say this went? That's one. One, 2, 3, and the final one. Get rid of this massive blob, should we? And there we go. So I'm no pro, but that will definitely do the job. It's not that much. Well, it's not as bad as what I took off, to be fair. The job that was being done by a professional, by a machine, was probably the same if not worse. So let's plug this in and give it a try. So we have the lights. Let's plug these in. We only go one way, which is like that. We have the mains. Which go like that. And power. Plug them in. And there we go. So they are going crazy. Which remote control came with them? It's definitely one of these three. This one. Okay. Is that a lucky guess? Or do they all work? Oh, they all work. Alright, so I thought you had to program them. Apparently not. Now here's the one. This one with the marks on. That one was what came with these, which technically controls this module, but also controls this one. So, do we have white, red, green, blue, pink, blue, and yellow? So I've wired them up correctly, because if I didn't, if I'd put these in the wrong order, this would not work. So let's turn the lights off and see what they look like. Yeah, so how was I making that flash before? Guessing, oh, so you can cycle through all the colours. Demo mode? Ah, it was demo mode. Yeah, let's turn that off because that's out of my head. So how am I going to seal this? Now, before we put the wires on, I ran some heat shrink, some small on this side, some large in the middle, which will cover that nicely all the way across, and then some small on this side. The idea was I was going to place something in the center, some silicone paste maybe, or some silicone, which I do have some normal silicone, but silicone paste is what I normally use. I don't think it would have any effects on the actual board itself. I wouldn't have thought so. But I'll tell you what I might do is silicone paste in the center, place this over, and then heat shrink it down, and when the paste has to come out, clean it up, and then silicone, and then put these over the ends. Could that work? Okay, so I can't find the silicone paste. I have no idea where it's at. It's quite a large tube as well, so yeah, that's somewhere in the garage. So I don't like the idea of putting this directly onto the board. I'm sure it would be fine, but I wouldn't be comfortable with that. I think it could be corrosive. There could be a chemical in here which could eat away at the board. So what I'm going to do is slide this over. Make sure it's in the middle. Just about there. And I'm going to shrink this down and then apply silicone at the ends and then bring this over. And yeah, give that a go. See what happens. Let's give this a minute to harden. Try and keep it straight if possible, like that. So that kink's going to be a problem again, but we're going to address it this time. This is basically all they do. That's it. Put a bit of silicone at each end and that's it. So hopefully what I'm going to do will be a bit of fixing what they did. It's starting to go off. Pretty messy. Oh, it's white silicone as well. Great. I thought it was clear. Basically pack it in here. Might dry clear actually. Does it dry? White. Oh man. Never mind. So if we get that down inside there, slide this over. Probably should have used next size up heat shrink, but we slide that over there. So that is sealing that. And we'll do the same on this side. Yeah, it's way too small, isn't it? Should have used a bigger one. I probably couldn't get one over that, could I? Oh, we got it over. So these two sealed ends, and then if I just put some inside here, both sides, work it inside, bit around here. It's not really necessary this side because this side is going to be really tight, but there's better ways to do this, more professional ways, but this is me showing you guys how to fix a £50 set of hot tub lights for about £5, if you have the tools, of course. So let's get some heat put into this. And so there we go. That is the finished result, and I think that looks pretty factory. It's basically how they had it. They had this centerpiece shrink wrapped like this one is, but they did not have the end caps on. Now these end caps, as I've shown you guys, is full of silicone, so when that cues, there's absolutely no chance of water getting past this bit or this bit, and as long as this doesn't get torn or cut, this should be fully waterproof. I've put extra silicone on the end, if you can work that out. These 4 wires here, if you imagine, there's 4 wires, and obviously you've got a gap, haven't you, between each wire, there and there and there, and at the top. I've packed it full of silicone, so when that cues, that should be like an oval kind of shape, one complete wire, so there's no chance of water being able to get down in between the cracks and work its way down in here. Plus this is silicone as well, so hopefully that is fully waterproof and shouldn't really be a problem. Now this isn't in the water don't get me wrong, this isn't submerged. This is hung around the hot tub, so the hot tub is in the ground and this will go across the edges of the trellis and on your wall or wherever you want to be. I think it rained and the water basically worked its way down the wire and just basically gotten right at the top, and it broke the circuit board. But as you can see, working perfectly fine, and yeah, job is complete. So be careful guys if you're doing this. Just remember, it's only 15 watts from this particular unit. It's not much, 5 volts. You know, it's a couple of AA batteries essentially, so you're not going to get too much of a shock. But just if you're messing about with these wires, just remember the red is hot and the other 3 will be the ground. It basically just completes the circuit. That's all what's basically happening, is the current is coming in and then going back out, and depending on which wire is active or if all of active or how much current is going through each one depends on the colour of the lights. And yeah, just be careful when working with electricity, of course. But that is it. So it's actually more lights than I expected. There's quite a lot there curled up. Yeah, a couple of crazy little mods. Should get myself some of these for the workshop. Well, we've got the normal colours like I've shown you guys before. I always like blue. I think that looks, you can't really go wrong with blue. What else do we have? We've got the different phases. So yeah, it seems to be working perfectly fine. Got different modes. Can't really see much different in the modes other than just a pulse. Oh, I've got a twinkle. Yeah, so that's quite nice. So there you go guys, we have a completed project. So hopefully you found this video useful. Maybe your lights to stop working and it's the exact same issue, and hopefully this helps you fix yours. If that is the case, then please do leave a comment down below. I always like to find out if what I've done in a video has actually helped people out. That would be muchly appreciated. And like always guys, please do leave likes and comments down below. Subscribe to my channel for future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.